If you're a fan of horse racing, you're probably going to really thoroughly enjoy They're Off. This is the 1948 cartoon directed by Jack Hanna, and this is narrated by Harlow Wilcox with Pinter Colvig voicing Goofy. And I'm not a big fan of horse racing, but I still enjoyed this one. I thought it was very well animated, and I liked the use of the horses. The horses were not just passive characters in this. Some of them spoke, some of them had much more charismatic personalities than what I would have expected. And there are other Disney cartoons that deal with horse racing and things, and usually the horses are passive, they are there for the jockeys to ride, and that's about it. But in this one, they actually have a bit more personality and a bit more of a prominent role. And Goofy is trying to bet on horses, and there are various other Goofy look-alike characters who are betting, and ultimately it's down to which horse is going to win. Will our main Goofy protagonist come off richer? And I'm not going to say what happens, but I'll say it's got quite a developed narrative structure. It's not just the case of him placing a bet and watching the horses. There are different interactions with the horses, and as the race happens, the animation style is really quite pleasing. Sometimes we are watching it from the sidelines. Sometimes we have a bird's eye view, and they use little dots to represent the horses, which I thought was quite a nice way of keeping the pace going. And obviously, it makes editing a bit more choppy, making it go back and forth a bit more, making it a lot quicker paced. And I think it works really well given the subject matter. The narration, the voice narration, I thought was brilliant. You can hear the quickening of the pace of Harlow Wilcox's voice as the race gets underway, and obviously becomes quicker and more intense, and they're approaching the finishing line. And you really get the heightened experience of this. I'm still not a fan of horse racing, but you can kind of imagine why this would be exciting, and people are desperate to see the winner, and I enjoyed it, and I was really pleased with the treatment of the horses. I should point out, I don't not care for horse racing because of the cruelty to animals. I mean, obviously, I'd rather horses weren't raced, but it's not like I'm against it because of animal cruelty, because I know that usually horses in horse races are very well looked after. They're prized possessions. They're treated better than most humans a lot of the time. Not all of the time, I will admit that. But from what I'm aware, they're prized possessions. Of course, they're loved and well cared for. But it's just not something I've ever been interested in. But that didn't hinder my enjoyment of this because it's exceptionally well animated. The narrative structure flows very well, and the pacing of it is brilliant. Goofy's not my favourite character, but when there's a narrator involved, and a lot of the classic Goofy shorts were narrated. I don't know why, because Pinnacle is brilliant at Goofy's voice. We never hear Goofy speaking that much. Not every Goofy short, but a lot of early Goofy shorts were narrated. But I just find everything about this worked really well. I didn't know if I was going to enjoy it that much or not because, as I said, not the biggest fan of horse racing. But in terms of an actual animation and a piece of art and a story, it ticks all of the right boxes. If you're a fan of Disney or of Goofy, definitely check out They're Off. But of course, if you're a fan of horse racing, give it a watch. There's a very strong chance you're going to really enjoy this one.